So, Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star both have been exposed for being manipulative people, and this should come to the surprise of absolutely no one, but here we are. And before we get into this video properly, I just want to say I am so fucking bored of seeing people repeat the same asinine sentence over and over, which is, oh, Shane Dawson is just, he's gullible and he's easily manipulated and he just wants to see the good in everyone. That's why he's friends with Jeffree and Trish and Tanner. He just wants to see the good in people. Guys, you don't understand. He's such an empath. Why do we talk about a 31-year-old man in this manner? Why do we handle Shane Dawson with kid gloves as if he didn't have a history of being a really, really edgy and controversial person? It's almost as if he cultivated this, oh, I'm just a soft boy, ooh, persona a few years ago to deflect criticism. Because he knows his stands will be so ardent in their viewpoint that Shane can absolutely do no wrong. He's just taken in by the manipulation of other people. He has no accountability of himself. Right, so first things first, Cam Lester, a black influencer, made a series of stories on his Instagram to talk about his involvement with Jeffree Star. He says he went to some event with Jeffree Star and was asked by Jeffree in front of a bunch of other people what he thought of James Charles. And, you know, he was ambivalent. He had nothing against James Charles. And then Jeffree said to Rich Lux that he thought Cam had been messaging James Charles. And this all happened before the Tati by sister scandal. Why is a 34-year-old man acting like he's in high school? That high school drama mentality. Cam then also says, I'm paraphrasing this video obviously, he then also says that Shane Dawson rung Jeffree at some point during that trip to bitch about James Charles extensively because like Shane's just such a good guy. You know what? I think Jeffree forced Shane to ring up Jeffree to bitch about James Charles for no reason at all. I think that's what happened, guys. It's so sad. So already before Tati did her video, months before the sugar bear hair vitamin thing, that it was really all over, you had Jeffree sort of planting seeds to see what would grow. So Cam himself then goes on the video to say that he feels guilty about not warning James because he knew something was up 3 months before anything actually happened. But I personally don't think that Cam should be hard on himself at all because, you know, in the likelihood he had told James something, he might not have been believed. And Jeffree Star is a bit of a bully who definitely would have used his fans to run you off the platform. So, you know, hindsight is a lovely thing and all until it's not a lovely thing. Don't be too hard on yourself. The problem isn't that you didn't say anything. The problem is that this guy with millions of subscribers thinks he can go around acting like he's the king of fuck mountain. King shit of fuck mountain, I think that's the phrase. I mean, no one could have predicted how big the bi-sister scandal was going to be anyway, so I just don't think Cam should be hard on himself. Cam also says in the video he feels like he was never a friend to Jeffree. He was just used because of his skin colour, like he was the token black friend to Jeffree, which I can totally see Jeffree doing because Jeffree's kind of doing this, not with race obviously, but he's doing the same with Shane Dawson right now. He's using Shane Dawson as a literal meat shield to deflect against criticism. We saw this in the Mum's Basement podcast, which I did a video on a few weeks ago, in which he's saying to Keemstar, oh, you don't think that Shane Dawson would do that? You don't think that me and Shane, because he knows about Shane's reputation as this fragile little angel on YouTube. Well, not really anymore because it's kind of turning their way now, isn't it? But to his masses and millions of fans, he's still seen as this just golden child who he would never hurt a fly, guys. That's not him. That's not him. He's just so naive, even though he's 31. By the way, I'm not saying that someone can't be naive at 31, but if you are naive at 31, you need to sort it the fuck out. Because if you're that age and you're naive and gullible, you're kind of a danger to yourself. Basically, seeing as Jeffree is already doing it with Shane Dawson, I wouldn't put it past him to not use a black creator as a way of deflecting criticism because, you know, he gets called racist a lot. Then there was a bit in the video where Cam said he felt paranoid that Jeffree might get a hitman out on him, put a hit on him. Which, right, when I initially heard that, I did think that's a bit over dramatic. Jeffree Star isn't a cartoon villain. But at the same time, I wouldn't put it past Jeffree to not act like that. Does that make sense? Did I use a double negative? I'm very confused at things that I say. I could imagine Jeffree pretending he would get a hitman to kill someone just to scare that person. I can't imagine him actually doing it because this is, guys, this is still YouTube. It's not the mafia. It's still YouTube. He's Jeffree Star, not Jeffree Dahmer. But I can definitely imagine him acting in a bullyish way to try to control someone's behaviour 100%. Then this other bloke came out. I don't know his name, so he is literally just this bloke. Proper British, what a geezer. He's just this bloke who'd been friends with Jeffree for about 13, 14 years. Has come out and made a video on why he's not Jeffree's friend anymore. So I watched that, and the last time he hung out with Jeffree was on Valentine's Day in 2020, and Jeffree made anti-Semitic remarks and just bitched about basically everyone. Again, are we surprised about that? The dude says that Jeffree Star is different online to how he is in real life, which again, not surprised. That he's a bitch in real life, not surprising at all. The guy says that Jeffree surrounds himself with yes men and he needs to put down the internet and stop fighting with teenagers, which made me laugh because it's true. Also, Jeffree apparently thinks that everyone is jealous of him because he's rich. But I wouldn't want to trade lives with you because sure, you're rich, but you don't have anyone willing to stick around long enough to share it with. You're going to end up like Mr. Burns at this rate, except your Smithers is just going to be someone that you're going to have to pay to put up with you. I feel mean for saying that, but Jeffree is going to end up being the Ebenezer Scrooge of YouTube. So then there's that, and then there's also this video by a woman called Ashley Kyle, who had a drama channel, and she was friends with Jeffree. So we're going to look at some of the texts that they had back and forth with each other. She thought that she was friends with Jeffree, but obviously Jeffree was just using her. The video is called I Was on Jeffree Star's Payroll. So we're going to go through some of the texts that she shows in her video. There are so many, this is from Jeffree. There are so many dark things that are going to come to light soon, and none of them involve me. Doubts. Just buckle up. Ashley said, oh no, I hope not James. I can't make another video on him in a row, but I'm ready. I've just been sent so much stuff about him today, I'm at a loss. Jeffree said, it's all going to come out. Whatever you think that means, it's 10 times worse. He's a monster. A 30-plus-year-old man. By the way, this is going to seem really sus, me saying it, because it's like, oh, of course, Alizee, you're just that big brain that you thought of it and never mentioned it publicly. Well, I did. I did think Jeffree had some of the drama channels on his payroll to influence their opinions and get them on side, because a lot of drama channels like the not T-Spill, but like the T-Spill, you know, Shook, you know, they're called those names. There's a lot of them that are just anti-James Charles whenever he breathes wrong, yet would skip over anything that, you know, Jeffree had done. And it just seemed a bit sus to me. And Jeffree has fuck you money, where he could just, you know, throw money or gifts or PR at people. And actually, as Ashley says in this video, just her being friends with Jeffree was enough for her opinion to be influenced, which is very understandable because he's, you know, famous and whatnot. But I did discuss this with a few people a while ago, that I think he had bought out some drama channels, but I never mentioned it publicly because I absolutely have no evidence for that. It just, that makes sense to me logically, that if you have that kind of money and you're that type of figure, you would buy out some people, because it's just propaganda 101 really, isn't it? I know, how convenient I'm saying this now, confirmation bias and all that, but you don't need to believe me. But I definitely did think it, because I am very big-brained. The lady says, oh my god, Jeffree, you have me shook right now. You were so close to him. Jeffree, we all were. ... Shane, Tati, the Dolans, ... Emma, we are all done. You leave Emma Chamberlain out of this. Wow, that's disappointing. I had a lot of hope for him. Ditto. Okay, and what else? We are all questioning if he has a soul. It's far from over. Gage got out safe. Wait for the others. And Ashley says, you know, what was she meant to think when Jeffree was someone that she trusted? And he's saying things like that, where your mind, you know, Gage got out safe, wait for the others. Your mind automatically goes to the worst place imaginable when you hear that kind of language being used and thrown around. His eyes are so dead it's haunting, like a demon. How is Jeffree Star a real person? Why are you acting like you're in school? You are an adult. What do you even mean? His eyes are so dead it's haunting. Like a demon. You could grab any picture and say that about anyone. What does that even mean? Like a demon. He's so immature, it's embarrassing. It's also twisted. James isn't a real normal thinking human being. It's scary. Shane and I feel like this weekend something bad is going to happen with all of this. James is playing with so much fire. See? Shane was involved in all of this. And Ashley says in her video towards the end that she thinks that Shane had direct involvement in this. There's quite a few people that think Tati was having issues with James and then Shane and Jeffree made it worse and egged her on and were manipulative and egged her on into making that video, and then she makes that video and oh look, they've both dropped her. Which I can see the merits to saying that. Shane and I feel like this weekend something bad is going to happen. And then don't you find it funny how it's quite clear to anyone who's being reasonable, Shane had involvement with the bi-sister debacle and yet had the fucking audacity to act all shooketh and have a little cry when they showed in his documentary, the most recent one, you know, footage of Tati talking, and it was their reaction. They showed it in the trailer where he's sitting there like crying a little bit because it's just, he's such an empath, guys. He's such an empath. And then people got mad that they didn't include the drama in that documentary because it was meant to be about the business, not about the tea, even though, like, what fucking business? You just showed Shane picking a few colours. Oh my god, now I know how to make a makeup palette. I need to do a video on that series, but I keep feeling like, oh, it's old though, it's old news, it's a year old, but I clearly have some feelings about it that I think a lot of people could understand, because we're just empaths, guys. I'm only taking the piss out of Shane Moore, right, because I think it's pretty much established that Jeffree is not a nice guy, but there are still people insistent on, no, Shane just doesn't know what he's doing. He's just easily manipulated. That's why he's consistently been friends with Trisha and Jeffree and Tana for a few years now, because he's just so easily manipulative. No, he's clearly living out some sort of high school fantasy where he's in with the popular kids because he's at the top of like the social media ladder. Can anyone else just not see this? No, I'm doing you a disservice. Of course, like most of you can see that, but can more of you please see that? Write your hate comments now about how I just don't understand and I'm a massive bitch and Shane is a big empath, guys. Write your hate comments now because I'm not going to fucking read them. Doesn't matter to me. I wonder when someone is going to expose James Charles getting a Brazilian butt lift and liposuction on the chin. I'm waiting. Can you imagine doing all that just for a Coachella weekend? Fucking disgusting. Who are you to talk about someone getting plastic surgery? I mean, hello? You've had plastic surgery. I don't understand that. Oh, but he got a Brazilian butt lift. You've had, like, jaw surgery and lip fillers and... I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I've had lip fillers. My lips are deflating right now. I need them redone. And I would 100% get a nose job and make my jaw smaller as well if I had the money right now. So, I don't understand. Like, glass houses, throwing makeup palettes at glass houses. How can he sit there and call James Charles disgusting for that when he's had surgery as well? Maybe my IQ just isn't high enough to understand the complexity of Jeffree Star's mind. After our Seattle trip with Tati, notice how he went a little ghost because he couldn't sit down for a month. You can be fully active on social media, just notice how he's never sitting. Well, so what? Like, so bitchy. Again, 34 years old. Come on. Considering how Jeffree can't seem to have friends stick around, wouldn't it be interesting to hear Manny and Tati's side of things and whoever else has been involved with him and, you know, falling out with him? Wouldn't it be interesting to hear their opinions now? I'm not saying that Manny and co didn't do bad things because they probably maybe are a little bit bitchy themselves, but wouldn't it be interesting? Calling it now. Wait for someone to upload their video on James this week. You're gonna gag. I'm so glad the truth is finally out. It's so deep and dark. Why are these people so dramatic? Isn't it funny how, so months before the bi-sister debacle, Shane and Jeffree are slagging off James Charles, trying to find out what other creators think of James Charles, etc, etc. And then a week before, Jeffree is contacting this drama channel, feeding them, you know, drip drops of information about it. But then on the Mum's podcast, Mum's Basement podcast, not like me mum having a podcast, being like, oh my god, have you seen about this Jeffree Starmer bloke? Jeffree throws Tati to the wolves by being like, it was all her, we had nothing to do with it. Do you really think me and Shane, bless him, would do anything like that? Come on, Keem, do you really think so? Nasty, nasty, vindictive behaviour. Do you know what, though? Do you know what? Seeing Jeffree's history, here's the thing. So, Jeffree claimed he had receipts on James Charles. He didn't have any receipts. He said, no, well, I've changed, and the old Jeffree was coming out, and I didn't want to show the receipts because he had none. He didn't fucking have anything. He was just being all talk and was probably hoping that the talk was enough for a lot of people to go buy off. And it was. It was for me momentarily. It clearly was for this drama channel who was a little bit, you know, starstruck by being friends with Jeffree Star, etc., etc. I guarantee you, Jeffree Star is not going to make that slip up again of not having any receipts on anyone. Therefore, I posit the thought experiment. Imagine what it's going to be like when Jeffree and Shane Dawson fall out. Because I tell you, Jeffree's going to be keeping receipts on Shane Dawson because he's, you know, going to make sure if he falls out with someone else publicly again, they're not going to get away from him. And Shane probably isn't keeping receipts because he probably thinks that they're, you know, real friends. It's not just a business transaction. Ooh, I'm so cynical and jaded to get. I've got a headache right here. I feel like I keep complaining about having headaches, but it's because I'm not drinking enough water. So, you know, drink up, kids. And then, you know, a lot of Jeffree and Shane's audience have kind of merged at this point. I wonder who's going to pick whose side when they inevitably fall out because, you know, Jeffree can't keep friends around. And he has a real cult of personality. I think Jeffree would win because he has a massive cult of personality. His super stans all drink from the Morphe sponsored Kool-Aid. But I guess that's all I have to say in this video. Don't drink Morphe sponsored Kool-Aid. I think that was my point. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. Follow me on Instagram and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!